In previous videos, we produced this large flake by striking it from a core. And then we worked on modifying it, reshaping it, starting to turn it into a usable form. And in doing that retouching, that modification, we produced quite a little cluster of debris, of lithic debitage, that are scattered very closely together here on this spot where I was working on the tool. At the end of the last video, we talked about how important this information would be archaeologically. This is a photograph of that debitage cluster, that debris cluster we just produced. It covers an area of about 30 by 30 centimeters, or about 1 by 1 foot. In this image, the debitage is highlighted. The colors don't really mean anything. They just show the differences between flakes that are setting one on top of the other. Mapping the location of individual pieces is common on an archaeological site and provides a basis for looking at what's been going on. In this image, you can see a group clustered around lots of little pieces of gray stone. These are all the same type of rock, locally available, that were reduced down on this spot prehistorically. This represents an instant in the past when people had acquired rock for tool making, came back, built a fire hearth, set around it, did flint knapping, did reduction, did retouching, and produced and probably took away a number of tools, in all likelihood arrow points. The location of each piece is mapped, and each piece is measured, described, recorded, and a line of information is captured on each item. This is coupled with its GPS location to tell us where it exists on the landscape. The 405 pieces of chipped stone recorded in this area of about 1 square meters is a fairly highly distinctive area, and very reminiscent of the cluster of debitage produced earlier in this video. While finding something like the debitage cluster we've shown here can be very exciting archaeologically, the flip side of that coin is when we see something like shown here, where artifacts from at least one site and probably several others have been gathered up, collected, and brought back to a cabin. Since this is on federal land, this sort of activity is damaging to a site and illegal. One of the things we often hear people say is, well, who'll know if I pick up an artifact, take it home? Well, over the last couple decades, we've recorded the locations of over 200,000 artifacts on the Shoshone National Forest. And we can go back and check and see if these artifacts have been removed. And if they are, we can notify law enforcement that they've been stolen. So please remember that every little piece of the archaeological record is important to try and reconstruct a picture of what the past was like. If that piece is moved, taken, or the site otherwise damaged, that picture has been obscured and we may never be able to reconstruct it.